Now this right here is the T4, and this is just the name of it. There is a couple of more of these variants of the scooter. One it's M2, the other one it's ix4. There is an R3, a new version. Anyway, the point is this one, the T4, is actually made for Germany, not made specifically, but some of the parts are, I think, specifically designed for Germany to only go 20 an hour. And therefore I had really hard time trying to get this to go with 45, which is made to do, you know, the motor and the battery, it's made to go 45 an hour, to get to 45 an hour. So the battery is made to support the motor that can go 45 an hour. Actually, the peak power on this motor, it's like 1,000 watts. So this is made for that. So it's not like I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do. This is actually the original state of the scooter, should go 45, and actually runs a lot better when it does that, when it goes with 45. Now the thing is that because this was designed for Germany, it is very difficult to unlock the scooter. You cannot unlock it. You cannot unlock the controller because the controller was designed and made differently, wired inside differently, and it's filled with silicone, so it cannot be tinkered with, which is a good thing, I guess. It's a safety measure type of thing. So they're full of silicone, so they cannot create any kind of shorts and things like that. So you need to replace the controller first of all. Then you need to replace this cluster of buttons. The original one, you see that is missing this one button up here, which is the horn. But this does not function. Like, you know, see, I hit it and it doesn't do nothing, but it works when you try to unlock it. Now you also have to replace the screen right here, because if you just replace this, it will still not work with this screen, like I can show right now. If I push, basically you have to push the power and this horn button at the same time, and it just shuts it off. So it does not work with this original screen. You need to replace it, and actually you don't need to replace it. What you need to do is unplug it, just this cluster of buttons, probably the throttle and the screen. If you unplug those and plug it into the new components, like into this cluster of buttons and the new screen, you can do this maneuver to where you push these two buttons. It gets to the P settings, then you go to P3, and there you set it up to 1, and that will unlock your scooter to 45 kilometers an hour. Now it unlocks your controller actually. Once the controller is unlocked, you can plug it into any display, it doesn't matter. So I plug it back into my original display and it works perfectly. So is the button cluster of buttons. So you just need to have access to this cluster of buttons and a display to be able to use it to unlock your controller, your new controller. The old controller, even if you do that, you try to unlock it with these new components, it will not unlock. It will tell you that it's unlocked, right? The P3, it goes to 1, but it's still only going to do 20 an hour. That's why I'm telling you that this is wired completely different. Therefore, you need to buy another controller to unlock the scooter. All right, and this sucks, right? Because let's say you are in Germany, but then you go somewhere else and the rules are different. You can use your scooter to go faster and whatever. And I will talk about that in a bit. But you cannot do it because this controller is completely locked. So you need to buy another controller. And you can get one from France, where they have the ix4 and the M4, M2, I think, controllers, or the R3. This one is from R3, which is a new version of the scooter, which works perfectly. You don't have to worry about anything. You just plug it in. It has some extra wires because this doesn't have the lights on the bottom. The Germans thought it's a bad idea to have more lights on the scooter to be able to be most visible at night. So they don't allow lights on the deck of the scooter, which is so stupid, can even comprehend something like this. It's ridiculous. Now I've been to Germany, and to be honest, everybody that I saw there, they were going more than 20 an hour. So they all unlock the scooter because it's stupid, the rule that they put everybody in the same pot and you all have to go with 20. It's completely ridiculous. So that's why I unlock mine, because now I'm not in Germany, I'm in a different country, and here I'm allowed to go more than 25 actually, if I have a driver license. Okay, I have to get insurance and register a scooter, but you're allowed to go because you know the rules of engagement, you know the traffic rules, and you can actually use it to go in the normal streets and the bicycle lanes. And you can only go in roads that are up to 50 kilometers an hour. So basically your limit now it's like 50 if you have a driver license, like I said. Anyway, if a scooter weighs more than 25 kilograms, you have to have a driver license anyway. And so at the end of the day, it's going to get there to where you need some kind of, license to be able to drive these things. If you have a normal license, you'll automatically get a license to drive a scooter, like a normal scooter. That's probably about 50 cc. So with that, you can actually drive this. And so it's all good, But it makes more sense for commuting and going to cities and things like that. But at least you can go with a decent limit and you're not basically hinder traffic also, So it's not bad. Although the traffic goes where you have a speed of 50, they do 80. So, But at least you are able to commute and go in a reasonable speed and normal. Anything more than that, I think it's a bit overkill with the scooters anyway. And you do have to pay attention and be careful, and look at the road because there is a lot of potholes. And you don't want to hit a pothole with these small wheels. So you need to pay attention to that, right? So there you go. This is the only way I see that you can unlock a German version of this type of scooter, or I'm assuming any other scooter, because I think they specifically request that the parts are made for this set limit, which again, it's stupid. Rules change, laws change. You move to a different country. Now what are you going to do with that scooter? Nobody is going to want it in a different country where you have a higher speed limit if they only does 20, What makes sense is scooters that you can actually program yourself and restrict them to a certain speed, or put them in a higher speed. So it's like, this makes sense. How would it be if all the cars were locked to 130 kilometers an hour? That's the highest speed limit in Europe, except Germany where they have the Autobahn. But how is that going to be? So the scooter can go faster. It doesn't mean you have to go faster. If you do, you can get fined. So you can also go there. But the main thing is that these kids are very young and they go with these scooters doing like friggin' 70 and 80 and 90 and 100. I heard some kids going. So, it can be dangerous, but they also learn to take a risk, and it's their responsibility. They have to also learn to be responsible. Kids or not, they have to learn. It's not always, no, we have to make rules and then put everybody in the same pot, and we threw away the pot, basically. This analogy is not the greatest, but anyway, you get what I'm saying. So, again, you need a new controller, first of all. And also, I forgot to tell you that the new controller you're going to get is going to be already at 25, not 20. So even if in Germany, it's not bad if you get a new controller. And then if you like it further, you can go to 45. So I hope, we evolve in a better way than making stupid rules. That makes no sense. And let's move on.